Hello, welcome to today's Trails to Tasting program, and today we are going to be making a dandelion gin fizzy, which is a bubbly, warm, teary sort of gin drink. We're going to be making it with, obviously, dandelions. So let's figure out how to identify them, why they're so important to the ecosystem, and how to take care of them for our dandelion drink.
Let's take a look. We've got a basal cluster of leaves, and that's leaves that are coming out of the ground in one clump. They're not coming out separately, so we can take a look. And all of the flowers are coming out from the middle of this cluster. The leaves are also heavily lobed. Have these sharp, almost triangle points here, and are for the most part hairless. There are some other similar looking plants that have much hairier leaves. You can see tiny little pubescence here, but not very much. Others will be much fuzzier, and you can tell that that is not actually a dandelion. The greens are really good to saute, and I add them to spaghetti sauce and all sorts of good things. But today we're using the flowers. The flowers here are single heads, and they have kind of a fuzzy stem here. And if you break it open, as you pick it, you'll notice that there is a milky sap that comes out. So when you pick them, we don't want that milky sap. That's actually kind of not good for us. So we are just going to pick right behind the sepals here. This is what we are going to need. So try to pick a whole bunch of them, the more the merrier, but fill up one jar, and we are going to create a dandelion syrup for our cocktail today. See this giant root here? This is called the taproot, and this long taproot will actually bring up nutrients from deep in the soil, move them up to the top layer of the soil, making them available for other plants that have roots closer to the surface. Dandelions are great early pollinator resources. So when you see a cluster like this, even though I can already see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more flower heads coming out, there's only a handful here right now. So in order to leave good food for early bees and other pollinators, we want to make sure that we are leaving enough food for them. So I'm only going to take 1 or 2 of these dandelions and leave the rest. Keep in mind that going out really early or when it's cold might be a challenge. Here in the sun, we have dandelions that are open and nice, but if we move over to the shade, you will notice that the dandelions are still closed up, which can make things a little difficult as you forage. Now that I have my dandelions, I'm going to add it to a container with honey in it. I just filled out a 1/4 cup of honey, and I'm going to now remove the petals from my dandelions and add it to my container. I'm going to fill the container up all the way full with the 2 cups of these dandelions, and then I'm going to add water and let it sit out in the sun to create my honey simple syrup. Keep in mind that ants love dandelions, so be sure that when you're going through your washed off dandelions that you don't put any ants in your container. A good way to separate the petals from the green sepals and the stem is to pinch the green portion where the stem connects to the sepals, or the little tiny leaf-like green structures below the base of the petals, and then pinch the petals, pinch the sepals until the sepals remove. And you can see here 1 little petal got on, but as I pinched, I'm holding on to the top of the petals, and the sepals will kind of just pop off. It's okay if you get some of the sepals in your dandelion. What you want to avoid though is getting any of that milky sap. That part is not really edible for us, so we want to avoid that, but getting some of the foliage is going to be okay. You may also notice as you do this that your fingers get a little bit yellow and dusty. That is from the reproductive structures that hold the pollen. Once you have your dandelions, you're gonna want to fill the rest of the jar up with water. Then you're gonna shake it and set it outside in a sunny, warm spot to steep, kind of like a simple syrup. Just instead of on the stove, we're gonna let the sun do the work, this time being eco-friendly with our energy source. And also, sun-brewed stuff is it's just better. You'll notice when it's finished that the color of your liquid has changed from clear to kind of a pale amber color, and you'll notice that all of the honey at the bottom has dissolved. If it's a really sunny, really warm day, the process will go by a lot quicker. Once your dandelion goodness, your honey simple syrup, has finished steeping and is this beautiful, rich, yellow color, now we know we're ready to go on our cocktail. You're going to need an ounce of your syrup. I don't strain mine because I would add the dandelion petals as a garnish anyway, but you can also feel free to strain yours when it's done. Yum, I can already smell it. 2 ounces of your gin. And a half an ounce of lemon juice. You don't want to overpower the dandelion. Then add an ice cube or 2 and shake it up. You don't want to add the soda because you're shaking soda. All right. Then add some cubes to your cup. Pour the rest in. You don't have to strain it out because we'll take the cubes from here. Now add your soda. This can also be good if you wanted to try it with Sprite instead of using lemon juice, or you could also use ginger ale. Ginger, dandelion, and lemon go really well together, and they all will complement each other in the flavors. Soda water works too. It has a warm taste, a much warmer taste. If you were part of the Trails to Tasting for my summer session and you had the Chicory Collins, that had a much zingier taste. This one has a warmer taste, probably because of the dandelion. Has a vibrant yet mellow taste. Very good. Perfect for spring and a great way to get you outside engaging with these little weeds that you probably don't ever really truly appreciate to their full potential. So outside exploring the natural world. If you enjoyed today's Trails to Tasting, give me a like, a subscribe, and share with your friends and your families. Get them to join in on this wonderful fun of foraging for the world's natural wild edibles. It's finally spring and it is a warm day. This is a great one for a nice warm spring day.